Hey guys, welcome to the Austin and Arthur Show.
You're listening to the Austin and Arthur channel, Unfiltered.
Yeah, we're basically just two American guys living in Japan talking about our experience, and we thought it'd be helpful for you guys.
So if you want to listen to us raw, you can listen to our AA channel.
Yeah, the Austin and Arthur Show channel. We have all of our videos with no subtitles. It might be a little bit difficult for you to check your listening or understand. So if you want to check how much you understand, we put the same conversation with English and Japanese subtitles on my main channel, Uconnect, where we focus on actually learning real English. So I think the link will be in the description below. You can check the video on the Uconnect channel for that.
And if not, keep listening to us raw here.
Gross.
Raw is such a weird word.
It is. It is. All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Man, the things we talk about before we start filming. This is great.
Oh, I like this a lot.
So this is a gift from our one of my fans, Reiko. When I went to Osaka for a meeting with my UKIC members, she was there and she got this for us. I forget how to read this. This is Junmai Daiginjo, which is really good. And it says Goshin, I think. Mahoro Bano. Man, I should have read this beforehand. But anyways, I'm going to put the link to this down
Japanese
in the video
right here.
I'm so, can you read this? What Shizuku? It looks like it could be. You know what it is? It probably is Shizuku because I got to tell you. So my son is playing Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom now. Okay. And it's great actually for me to learn Japanese because we have the Japanese version. And I have to read it to him. And there's all these kanji or weird words, but they have the furigana on them so I can read it. And they had that kanji and it was shizuku. It's like teardrop or drop. That's what it means. Which matches that. So yeah, Reiko, this is great. This is really sweet. I really like
it. It's, lately we've had some sake kind of on the other side of the spectrum where it's been more alcohol-y.
Yeah.
And this has been like
it's really
it's nice.
Yeah, it's light. This is like what I'd like on a summer day, which is great because it is getting warm now.
Yeah, and I'm glad we got this refrigerated too.
Yeah. So thank you, Reiko. This was wonderful. Unfortunately, we're probably going to talk about a topic that Reiko does not like. Which is about why we think Japanese people are uninformed about politics and history compared to people in the United States or in Europe.
So I want to start this off by saying that I fully expect we're going to get a ton of flack on this episode.
Yeah.
And if I had to bet, I bet that this is probably going to be one of the most unpopular episodes because it is kind of like a really big critique about Japan.
Yeah.
And I know you and I we almost talk about this every time we meet.
Yeah. Because you love talking about politics and I love talking about history.
Yeah.
So
and when you combine the two, it's just like the thing that blows my mind here is just when you talk to people here, nobody knows what's going on and nobody knows anything about history.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God, like I can't believe it. Like I have so many situations and experiences where I can just be like, oh yeah, this thing happened back in like the 80s. Don't you know about this? Oh no, I've never heard about this.
Right.
And like the crazy thing to me, like I think it's just insane that people don't know about world history here.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing to me is how many people aren't aware of Japanese history.
Yeah, both of them. Yeah.
Like I'll bring up so many like different examples of like something that happened in history here in Japan. And like, I'm not even talking about like, like ancient history or history from like a few hundred years ago, but like more recent history. Like, oh, did you know about, this one scandal that happened like 30 years ago with this politician? Oh no, I don't even know who that is. It's like, dude, this guy got assassinated. Like, it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Politics aren't really my thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's absurd to me to not know about like, assassinations or some like big political event that happened in your own country. Cause it's like, as an American, that's unthinkable.
Yeah. Yeah,
you know?
it's funny because when I first came to Japan, so coming from Germany,
Yeah.
I'm not German, but I was born in Germany, and
Mhm.
one of the things my dad loves about Germans, and he actually would complain to me a lot when I was growing up
Yeah.
about Americans compared to Germans, is how German people are so intense when
Yeah.
they talk about politics
Yeah.
or history, and they like of course this is a small sampling pool. These are his friends in Germany,
Yeah.
but he would go to a bar and they'd start talking about politics, and even if they had different opinions,
Yeah.
at the end they would end amicably. Maybe they would like give each other new things to think about.
Mm.
And I think in the United States it's a little bit different, but
I
it's
think it's
ki-
changed
yeah,
recently.
yeah,
You know, people used to be able to talk about it,
yeah.
but yeah.
But still, I mean, when you're in the West, when you're in Europe and you're in the United States,
Yeah.
it's kind of expected that you can talk about basics.
Yeah.
But in Japan, I feel like a lot of people in Japan are focused on the present. It's actually
Yeah.
for this is me stereotyping, of course. It's actually quite like Zen or Buddhist, where it's like, don't think about the future, don't
Yeah.
think about the past, just
Yeah.
think about now.
No, but it really is crazy because, um, there's so many things that are happening, like,
Yeah.
especially when we bring up current events,
Mhm.
you know? I can't tell you the amount of times I've tried to start a conversation because I do have Japanese friends,
Mhm.
right? Most of them are coworkers, but,
Mhm.
I do have Japanese friends, and, um, you know, I'll bring up stuff, like, you know, the current conflict in Iran
Mhm.
right now with the Strait of Hormuz, and, um, you know, I'll explain to things, I'm like, you guys don't realize, like, this is crippling Japan.
Mhm.
Japan is in, like, dire straits because of what's going on right
Yeah.
now, and no one really knows anything.
Yeah.
You know, all they'll be like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, I heard there's, like, some kind of, like, conflict with, like,
Mhm.
America and Iran, but, you know, I don't know anything about it." And it's like, "Dude, how could you not know about this?"
Mhm.
Like, there's things in the past month, so I do 3D printing.
Yeah.
I can't buy IPA, which stands for isopropyl alcohol.
Mhm.
I can't buy it because there's no isopropyl alcohol in Japan. Like
Yeah.
the 99% proof. You can't
Mhm.
buy it here.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know it, but that is an oil product. You
Yeah.
make that from oil,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? And that is just one small example of the vast amount of things that you can't buy here because
Yeah.
of that conflict.
Yeah, I saw
You know?
actually, I just saw on the news online yesterday that Calbee, the potato chip or potato stick manufacturer, they're shifting to doing the packaging of their most popular products in black and
I
white.
just saw that, and then there's another. I want to say they're like a soba manufacturer,
Mhm.
and they have started printing their soba packs with no label on it
Yeah.
because they can't afford to put the label on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another example. I was just there's a term called flashbanged, but I guess
What does that
people who
mean?
don't know what a flashbang.
I don't
A
even know what that
a
is.
flashbang is a loud, bright explosive that police will use,
Okay.
like, to completely disorientate somebody.
Mhm.
Like, you know, if they're trying to go inside a building,
Yeah.
it's a grenade
It's a
that they'll
flash
throw.
bomb,
Yeah,
right?
right, and it shoots out a bright light, and it makes a really loud sound and just disorients someone.
Yeah.
And so there's a term that you use, flashbang, as something that, like, instantly surprises
Yeah.
you. And I feel like I was flashbanged this morning because I rode the bus because sometimes I ride the bus in the morning because I don't want to
Yeah.
walk 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So I rode the bus to the train station this morning and I got off to pay, and the normal fare is 210 yen.
Mhm.
And it's like to cover literally a 20-minute walk.
Yeah.
It's not even a 5-minute bus ride. And I went up to pay this morning, and I put in, and normally it like beeps
Mhm.
when I've paid, and there was no beep, and the bus driver like looked at me like, "Dude, that's not enough."
Mhm.
And I'm like, "What do you mean it's not enough? This is 210." He's like, "No, it's 230 now."
Yeah.
The price just went up 20 yen.
Yeah.
That's almost a 20% increase in the bus fare in just 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Like, Japan is hurting right now.
well, it's funny because I remember when I moved to Yokohama 2 years ago.
Yeah.
taking a Tokyo bus or taking a bus was 210 yen.
Yeah.
And then it moved up to 220, and I was like, oh, this is the same as the Yokohama subway now for the minimum fare. And then it went up to 230. It's like, oh, okay, now it's 240.
Yeah.
And it's like, it just keeps on going up. And I understand why this happens, but this is getting a little bit far away from the point. We could talk about price increase, international conflict, but bringing it back to like people. So was there like an experience you had where you really felt that Japanese people are uninformed, like a specific talk with someone recently?
I mean, I feel like you're targeting it in one direction of a conversation.
I mean, I can share my stuff too.
But like, look, I'm just gonna address the elephant in the room. Like, hey guys, if you've watched this far, you're gonna love our Austin and Arthur friends.
In the Austin and Arthur friends, you're going to really improve your English listening, and I mean a lot. As a friend of ours, you will get each episode ahead of time with no ads, so you can watch before anyone else. But not just that, you can ask us questions or leave comments, and we will make a special video each week answering questions and responding to comments. These videos will not be released publicly. They are for friends, members only. It's a great way for you to ask our opinions directly and for us to respond directly. You'll also get listening practice questions and answers that you can check. Answers are for friends, members only. Oh, and anaume mondai mo desu ne. So you can check your listening. But not just that, for each episode, you'll get a list of native phrases we said from the video, along with practice sentences and pronunciation practice to help your speaking as well. You'll also get access to a members-only community where you can talk with us, the both of us. Mainly me, right?
No, definitely not.
This is a great way to support our show, but also get closer to us and improve your English as well. For more information, click on the link in the description box, the gayorang, or go to our website, austinandarthur.com.
Like, you can't have a conversation about like World War II and post-World War II here.
Yeah.
You just can't, because I've tried so many times, and like, I'm sure we're gonna get in comments that are people are gonna be like, oh, you guys don't know what you're talking about, and actually this and this happened. But it's like, at some point in the room, at some point in time, you have to come to terms with the fact of like, this is the reality of what happened in World War II.
Yeah.
And the reason why World War II is just constantly brought up is because it just reshaped the landscape of Japan.
Yeah.
The society here completely shifted in an absolutely different direction.
Yeah.
Focuses got put on things. Cultural norms changed. Like, everything changed. So here's the thing. When you look at the events that happened in World War II, and you look at the different sides of the conflict, you have Germany, who took a completely different opposite stance that Japan took at the end of the war, where it's like they just fully admitted everything. And, the German people have like lived kind of in like a really guilt-ridden existence for the past like 50 years.
Yeah.
And, I think a lot of people would argue that they kind of went too far in that direction.
Yeah.
Right. But the thing is like, you will never, ever meet a German person who denies anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, recently they're starting to come out a little bit more, but...
Well, sure, but like, most reasonable people, if you talk to them, they're like, it's like, this, and this happened, and, we have to live with it, right? And it really changed who we are as a people. And you can't have that conversation here.
Yeah, it's tough, because it's like... I feel like in Japan, there's a culture here of to not rock the boat, to not disturb the peace. And as long as it doesn't disturb the peace, you sweep it under the rug.
Yeah.
But it was funny you brought that up because, there's a book I read recently called The Wages of Guilt, which is a book that compares and contrasts the German reaction, the Japanese reaction to World War II. And it was funny well, when I say funny, I don't mean funny as in like haha funny. I mean it's interesting. Piqued my interest of how, like you said, the German people really fundamentally accepted what happened. They saw it as true, and they did penance for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's different in Japan because a lot of stuff got swept under the rug. And so because of that, there's almost like a social amnesia where you can't really talk about this stuff. So for me personally, this kind of like I remember when I was in Japan from the first time, and it was August 6th.
Yeah.
I was here August 6th because I stayed until the day after my birthday. And it was so awkward for me because it was like everyone was happy I was American, like, wow, thank you for loving Japanese culture. And then on August 6th was the day when I could feel like all this pent-up resentment coming out at me. And so it's weird because like I really felt like, wow, there's a lot of things being swept under the rug here, And I think because you have a culture that forces memories of the past to be ignored, that leads into the people ignoring it,
But at the same time, I feel like because it's been ignored, I feel like there's parts of society here that are just unable to move past it.
Yeah.
Because it's like everyone just doesn't acknowledge it. So it kind of just feels like it just keeps manifesting.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like right under the surface, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I'll give you a really good example. I've had conversations here where, they'll be like, I don't understand why Chinese people can't just like give it a rest. Like you always see on the news of like politicians. It's a really big deal for what's it, the Yasukuni?
Yeah, Yasukuni.
Shrine. So they go visit, and they like it's a war shrine, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like they're venerating like fallen soldiers.
Yeah.
I think. A lot of people here will say, well, I don't understand why is China and Korea making such a stink about something that happened so long ago. And it's just like, well, you guys want to know why? I'll tell you why. It's because you haven't acknowledged anything.
But that's,
you know what I mean?
But in the past, though, some politicians have acknowledged it,
Yeah.
And it's a really slippery discussion because I've talked to people.
Yeah.
And I've heard both sides. And China also has done some fishy things.
I'm not advocating for China.
Yeah.
And I'm not even saying that like Japan needs to go down the route that Germany did. I'm not saying reparations need to happen or any of that discussion, but I think there needs to be a dialogue.
Yeah.
People need to be comfortable with talking about these hard topics, if you want to bring it back into, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
But like, you want to bring it back into American discussion. One of the things that I think America is very good at, and I think Europe does this pretty well too, is like, we're okay with talking about the atrocities that we committed.
It's almost like history class in America nowadays is all about the atrocities America did.
Yeah, to the point where I think they paint America in a really negative light.
Yeah.
And I think regardless of the country you're in, you shouldn't be growing up learning about the history of your country through purely negative light.
Yeah.
You need a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Right? But one of the things that you do in America, go up to an American and ask them about Japanese internment in World War II.
Yeah.
They'll talk about it.
When you say Japanese internment, what do you mean?
The internment of Japanese Americans in World War II.
Yeah.
They were all put in camps. They were horribly treated. Nobody looks at that and goes, I don't want to talk about it. Nothing happened. Every American will say, oh, yeah, that was horrible.
Yeah.
Right? Talk about Native Americans, the Trail of Tears. 9 million Americans were massacred on
Trail of Tears too,
as they were kicked out. Talk about the genocide in the Philippines when the Philippines was turned into an American colony in the early 1900s. America's done some messed up stuff.
Yeah, right.
All throughout history, it's done messed up stuff. And Americans have no problem talking about it.
Yeah.
And that I think is a really important thing.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not advocating for Japan to like get down on their knees and apologize or anything, but I really wish that people would take the time to talk about these kind of things because they're important.
Yeah, dude, that's so not not the book Wages of Guilt I was reading, but I was reading another book, though, that was talking about how, at the end of World War II, most of the world saw that Emperor Hirohito. I'm speaking English, so I'm saying Emperor Hirohito. If I was speaking Japanese, I'd say Showa Tenno. Tenno-sama. I know some people have said, "Oh, you should call him by his name," but English is different. Just like American English-speaking historians talk about Prince Hirohito, Akihito, Naruhito. They use those names, just like we say Queen Elizabeth. But anyways, so everyone wanted to try Emperor Hirohito as a war criminal, but General MacArthur saw it as expedient to wipe his slate clean and be like, okay, let's just put the emperor away. Like, it's funny. If you watch the recordings of the Tokyo tribunals where they were trying all the war criminals, they had coached them to not blame the emperor. And there's actually a clip in there of Hideki Tojo, the war minister. And he basically says that the emperor was responsible and had to say over all the important decisions during the war. And at that moment, they stop for a recess, and he goes away, and he comes back and says, "Sorry, I misspoke. I retract my statement."
Yeah, it was actually me the whole time.
Basically, And so you have like this kind of like putting things under the rug, and even America was complicit in that, And so it's like it's hard to unearth those things, especially when you have a culture that first you have like honoring of your relatives, of your ancestors. You also have like don't rock the boat, try to keep the peace, and appearances. The reality doesn't matter. What matters most is the appearance, know? And I think that just makes it hard to talk about history.
Yeah, it just really frustrates me because look, I've been hearing Japanese education, and like, look, I really want to say like the whole theme of this episode, I really don't want people to like listen to this conversation and like think that like I think that Japanese people are dumb. That's not what I think. I don't think people are, forcefully ignorant, like they just want to pretend that things didn't happen. I think the main thing is I think education has failed people here.
Yeah.
And I think that to an extent that is deliberate.
Yeah.
But I do think education has failed people here because you know what? Like I said, I've been here in Japan for about 10 years. All 10 years I have taught at a I actually not a public school, but a private school. But I've been here at like a normal school in Japan all 10 years. And one of the things that I observe, because I pay attention to the other subjects in class. I pay attention to what students are learning in math, social studies, history, you name it. Like I know how students go about their daily lives, and I know what they learn throughout the year, from junior high all the way to graduating high school. And when the subject of World War II and what Japan experienced at the time, they don't learn anything about the conquest of the Japanese army throughout Asia. It just kind of glosses over everything until the atomic bombs are dropped. And then there's a really big focus on Hiroshima and Nagasaki and the experience that people are going through, which I do think is very important to learn.
Yeah, for sure.
But the problem that I have with that is it provides no context. It's like a fucking volcano erupted and a bunch of people died.
Yeah.
That's how it's portrayed.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that is a massive disservice to people here. Yeah. It's important to know about the reason why things happen.
Yeah.
Right? It wasn't just one day America was like, hey, we got this new bomb, so let's just try it out. I mean, it was... don't even go down that route. I mean, but my point is, there's a lot of buildup and there's a lot of things that happen to that, and it's important to understand the context of why things happen because you have atomic bomb survivors today who are advocating for the disarmament around the world of nuclear weapons, which I think is a good thing. Yeah. Right. At the same time, you have a massive pacifist stance that most people, including most politicians, have on Japan. And that has objectively hurt Japan in the global stage. It just has.
Yeah, I think, So one of the things that really got me interested in history, right, was more so than politics, because if there's something that I feel like I can influence,
Yeah.
then I'm interested in it when it comes to
Sure.
politics. So local politics, I'm down for, But when it
Yeah.
comes to history, though, what I realized is, kind of like, I'm living in the present, and I want to know how things are going to turn out.
Yeah.
Because that can help me prepare and live the best life that I want. But in
Mhm.
order to know, like, it's kind of like when you see a dot on a graph. It's like,
Yeah.
what direction is that dot going to go?
Yeah.
You don't know unless you've seen the path behind it. Then you can plan a trajectory of,
Sure.
it's going to go this way. And it
Yeah.
was that when I realized, if I know the past, I can start to predict the future, and seeing, not just knowing the dates or whatever, but seeing the relationships
Yeah.
that you're talking about. And that's been really interesting for me. That's why I read these books about Japanese history,
Yeah.
because it helps me understand what I'm living now.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
it's like, look, the thing that blows my mind is it's like it's still like bringing it back into current day events and everything. Like it was so crazy. I was so excited when when Trump first got elected, he brought the CEO of SoftBank over to the White House.
Masayoshi Son?
Yeah.
Cool.
And so they signed this big multi-billion-dollar deal that SoftBank is going to open up a bunch of data centers in the center of the U.S. and it's like focused on AI research.
Yeah.
And this is like, first of all, it's really great for America because it's, bringing in business, but like it's amazing for Japan because, honestly, the only good thing that Japan has going for its economy right now is AI research, right? They're kind of just throwing everything into robotics and AI research because like there just really isn't anything else. Japan, Sony is like a shadow of what it once was. Like Panasonic, really, it's like, you know what I mean? Like Korea and China are kind of taking over like on the technology department, especially China. Dude, China's technology is insane right now.
Right.
And so like Japan's kind of trying to find its niche right now. And I was so excited to talk about this when the news happened. Every person I tried to talk to is like, what are you talking about? What's going on? Like the CEO of SoftBank, I don't even know who that is. And, it's like, this is such an important thing for Japan right now. Like, we're like, this is going to really be the lifeblood that's kind of like injected into the economy here. Like, why are you guys not keeping up with this?
Right.
I just find myself so frustrated because like there's so many things I want to talk about. And like I kind of pride myself on being kind of up to date on political stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't just keep up with America. Like I want to talk about Japan. I want to talk about what Takaichi's doing.
Yeah.
It's like, there's so many things that I want to have discussions with people here, but I feel so pent up because I'm just not able to release it.
Well, it's tough, right? Because it's kind of like, when I first came to Japan and I would ask people in our first conversations, I'd ask, so what do you do for work? And a lot of people they were kind of like taken aback by that because asking someone personal questions about their work or something more detailed can actually lead to like discomfort or differing opinions and can ruin the harmony.
Yeah.
And I think that's why a lot of people just kind of ignore that stuff. But it's weird because if the younger generation were more informed, they could actually vote to change policy.
Here's the thing that frustrates me. And I have a lot of criticisms to how people vote in the U.S. too. This is like an only Japanese thing.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm gonna start off in America, then I'll bring it back over to Japan. I hate party voters. I hate them. I hate them so much.
What do you mean by party voters?
People who literally just vote like, oh, I'm a Democrat, so obviously I'm gonna choose the Democrat person. I'm a Republican. I'm only gonna choose the Republican candidate. Dude, just oh my God! If I was in charge of who could vote, if you are a hardline party voter, you wouldn't be allowed to vote.
But in Japan, it's a little bit different though, because you do vote for the party.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You do vote for the party, and they put up their leaders. So,
but the thing is like you still vote for the local representatives.
Okay.
Right. So you do have some influence. Like you might not be able to like vote who the next like prime minister is, but you'll be able to vote who like the person representing your local town is, right? And so going back to that, I want to circle back into Japan. like in the US you have these people who are party voters. They're like, I only vote for XYZ party. And it frustrates me because it's such a disservice to voting, because it's like, I'm not going to take the time to look and see what this person does. This person just represents an ideology that I align myself with. So that means I'm going to align myself with. Like, you know, I've mentioned on this channel multiple times that I've voted for Trump both times. I'm a big Trump supporter. You know what? Like, I'm not going to hide it at this point. People watching the channel, if they don't agree with what I say, I'm sorry. That's just who I am. I voted for Trump. I also voted for Obama both times he ran. I thought Obama, by and large, was a really great president. I supported the ideals that he was going through. And, you know, I thought he was a great choice for America at the time. So, like, I'm not against voting for the other side. In fact, like, I will vote for whoever I think is the most effective leader to how I want to see America go. Right? So, circling back to, you know, things in Japan, I find it really frustrating when I hear people saying, like, you know, I want XYZ person to win. Like, you know, a big thing was like the Sansaito movement, you know, in this past year. And, you know, it's like you have people talk about this conversation, and I'm not just saying specifically this party. There's a bunch of different parties, you know, that I think you'll encounter people like this for in Japan, but you won't see people really focusing in on the important matters. It almost feels like a popularity contest.
Yeah, I mean,
do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, a lot of people voted for Barack Obama because he was the cool guy compared to George W. Bush.
I mean, I voted for him because he wanted to hemorrhage, or not hemorrhage. He wanted to completely stop illegal immigration, which I think is the most important thing in the U.S. And I think that hasn't changed in the past 15 years. And it's a big reason why I voted for Trump, because he wants to stop illegal immigration. And I think, you know, you're seeing the similar thing happen here, but that has nothing to do with this conversation. But, you know, there are people who voted for that. And voted for Obama because he was cool, and oh man, it infuriates me. It's like, oh yeah, he's black. Who cares?
On the other hand, like, one thing though that I do like about living here, I feel like we've been like really negative, but you talking about Barack Obama kind of brought back some like traumatic memories in my past. There are some people in the States who, like, politics is their life. It's because it's the new religion. Because
it is.
I feel like Japan is really a truly atheist country, and America is always going to be a religious country, even if you're not.
Dude, I feel like people worship their work here, man.
No, but it's a different kind of thing.
Like, for sure.
But so like people in the States have traded religion for politics.
Oh, absolutely.
And you will have the person who everything they talk about gets brought into politics or something, and you have to make a decision with them, and they kind of like push you to agree with them or to disagree with them. I remember I went to like a new church with one of my friends, and we were just talking with one of the people afterwards, and they automatically started talking about Hillary Clinton, all this stuff, and I was thinking, man, at that time I was a Christian. I was like, I want to talk about God. Why are we talking about Hillary Clinton? And I feel like being in Japan, a good thing is I don't have to worry about that anymore.
No, I do agree with you there. I think that a lot of people bring up politics when there's no reason to.
Sorry, it's just that's a little present for the people watching us on YouTube versus listen to our podcast. If you're listening to our podcast, you have to watch our YouTube video to see what just happened there.
But no, I think that a lot of Americans tend to inject politics in history. Like, I'll give you a really good example. There's like kind of a meme floating around on the internet of like guys, but like more kind of autistic guys, always injecting like Roman history into stuff. You know what I mean?
Dude, that meme of like, how often do you think of the Roman Empire?
Yeah, it's like, hey, did you know how the aqueducts were built? And it's like, well, no, okay, dude.
Hey, listen. I just want to talk about that for a second, okay? So this is
I wonder why.
No, because I'm more of a Greek guy, not a Roman history guy. But so there was this meme a couple years ago about how often do people think about the Roman Empire. I was seeing if I could pick up a picture, but I can't. But yeah, so basically, it started off, I think it was on TikTok or Instagram or something, where this girl, she went up to her husband and was like filming him. By the way, if my wife ever does that, I'm probably going to divorce her, because that's like
the hard line, huh?
That is like the peak of disrespect right there, like without permission, Anyways, so she goes up to her husband and films him, says, "Hey, honey, how often do you think of the Roman Empire?" And he's like, "I don't know, like once every 2-3 days." And she was just laughing at him, because there was this thing about how guys are always thinking about history and stuff. But in defense of the Roman Empire, almost everything about Western culture is attributed to that. And if you are a deep thinker and you think about to the source of where things come from, it's probably going to go there or Greece. It's one of those.
Or China.
Well, in Japan especially, it's going to go to China. But yeah, so it's one of those things where it's like, I don't even know why I brought this up, but it's just, I think about the Roman Empire probably like once a week, I guess. But it's because I think about the history and like where things come from.
No, I know. I like to tease you, but it's just kind of like my point is, I think that a lot of Americans tend to inject politics where it's like it doesn't need to exist.
No.
Like I don't think every single conversation every day needs to be about politics, and I think one of the things that I do like about Japan, and I've said it multiple times on the channel, and basically what you just said is, I don't care about other people's opinions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It might not sound good, but it's just like, I don't want to hear your opinion on everything.
Yeah.
So it's like on that level, I agree. But it's like when you're at the point where you can't talk about current events and you don't know why things are happening or why people feel a certain way, it's at that point that I really wish that people would try and educate themselves. And, it's kind of crazy. Just kind of circle back around on this topic, because I think a lot of Japanese people who leave Japan, live in another country for a number of years, and eventually return back to Japan. Every single one of them I have met has been highly educated on history.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to agree with me when I say this, most of those people, when I talk to them about Japan, they hate Japan.
Yeah.
They hate it.
Yeah.
They think Japanese people are like ignorant and dumb, and they think that, society here is so naive and like childlike. I hear that term childlike all the time when people are describing society. Japanese people coming back to their homeland, describing Japanese society to me, they say childlike.
Yeah.
I hear that all the time.
Yeah.
And a big reason why is because a lot of these people coming back feel like, not that they were lied to, but that they were never really exposed to anything.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people come back and they feel very resentful towards Japan because of that, right? And I really hate that, because you kind of see like these people, because they're so resentful, they kind of just forego any good points that Japan has.
Yeah.
And I dislike that, because I love Japan. I love this country. I want it to thrive. I am full in on Japan. Right. And it hurts me when I hear people say like bad things about it, because this is a country that I care about. Like I view Japan and America as like my mother and my father.
Yeah. You don't want to throw out the baby with the bathwater.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like this is a really important topic to me, and it saddens me that people would think that.
And it's funny because especially now, like especially after having kids, and I really realize this. I really feel like, although they're very immature and don't know how to handle their emotions very well, I think children are the peak of humanity. As in like they are the most unapologetically human.
Oh,
whereas
absolutely.
But then as time goes on, they get hit with rules. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, I have to, and then they start kind of like policing themselves, But I think one of the keys to having a full life as an adult is to be able to access that childlike state again when you want. Not as in not like, oh, I'm going to forget about my life. I'm going to go into debt to go to Disneyland, shit like that. But
hint towards our next
another episode. but being able to enjoy the things. And I feel like in Japan, it's very easy to do that. Whereas in the States, it's almost like, that's so childlike. Why are you doing that? You know?
Yeah.
And so having that balance. But so I wish there would be a way for people to kind of preserve that childlike aspect, but then also being able to open up and talk about real things and not worry about getting offended or something like that.
I mean, it all goes back to education, man. Yeah. It really does. It goes back to getting away from this root memorization crap, because here's the thing with root memorization, especially when it comes to history, politics, and social studies and that kind of thing. It all just depends on who your teacher is.
Yeah.
They decide what you learn.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Actually, now you say that, my best teachers in high school were my history teachers. And that's probably why I like history so much. I remember when I was a sophomore in high school, I had a teacher. His name was Mr. Butters, not from South Park, but his last name was really Mr. Butters.
Okay.
And he when we were learning about World War I, because World War I gets kind of shoved out of the way because
really
World War
does.
II is so big.
Yeah.
But he had this skit where he talks about the cause of World War I, which was the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. And he would walk around with a fake mustache on, and he would use his desk chair as the horse and carriage of him going around, and when he would get hit, he'd pretend he'd fall on the floor. And it's funny because he was making it into a theatrical experience, but it was because of teachers like that I really loved history.
I have maintained this belief my whole life, and I think was he a veteran? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay, because my history teacher in high school was a veteran, and actually I had another veteran teacher in junior high, and I think veterans, I think it should be a requirement to be a veteran to be a history teacher.
Okay,
because dude. You talk to anybody who was in the military, I guarantee you they know everything about history.
Yeah, well, you have
literally everything, man.
Yeah,
and it's just there is no person who will motivate you into and interest you more in history than those guys.
Yeah,
yeah. But anyways, we've been talking quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, this has been great. So we basically shit talked about Japan for a while, and now we kind of covered our butts at the end.
No, but it's here's the thing. I have a lot of criticisms about mainly about the education here, because I honestly, like I said, I do not put any blame on people here.
Yeah,
I've seen how people learn. I've seen it's taught in school, and how are you supposed to know?
Yeah, right.
You don't get taught it, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the reason why I bring this up is because I really care. I really care about this country. I care about the people here. And I just find it so frustrating because, like I said earlier, I feel like a lot of people are being done just a disservice.
Yeah,
here.
right.
Yeah.
Well, I really agree with you, man, and I'm looking forward to the comments.
You know what? I'm holding myself up. I'm ready for the crucifixion.
I know. I'm yeah. This is the end of the Austin and Arthur Show channel.
It was a good run, guys.
Yeah, thank you. No, the final episode will be when we have an episode only on World War II, which I don't think we're ever going to do until we want to quit, and then we'll do that one. I'll see you next time, man.
Yeah.